Hello and welcome to another video from the Fantasy Legion. We're doing player profiles, and this is one that you've been sort of synonymous with, throughout the last couple of years. One of your favourites. His ADP is 33. He's got a new team.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he hasn't got a new knee. His name's Todd Gurley. You'll please, Sean. ADP of 33.
He did really well, actually, to be fair to him last year. But I think you can see, I expected it. And it's very hard to predict injuries. It's the hardest thing to predict because that sounds horrible to predict an injury for a player. But he's clearly not the same guy. I mean, it's spelled out in all the stats as you saw last year. You know, the trend is heading the opposite direction. He may have a new team without any competition, and I think that's good.
And that's the biggest push you can say, isn't it?
And he's in a good team where it is quite exciting. He's fallen into the third round, and that's also not bad. You know, even in a large league,
being tempted back in by Todd Gurley.
Even in a large league, that's okay. So he now reaches a point where you actually have to say logically, it's all right. It's not. I have got big reservations and risks around him. And he's a kind of player that he wouldn't be high on my list to target in that round, but you have to put him on your list because it is a bit tempting. This is one where it's the classic fine line between risk and reward and opportunity. So,
well, it's not a bad offense, is it? It's not a bad offense. He knows where the end zone is, and that's what saved his season last year. He's got Ito Smith, Quadri Ollison, and Brian Hill to beat out. So, pretty much the number one job is his if he's healthy. So there is a high upside there, so you could eat if he stays healthy all year. I mean, the worry is the Rams knew the deal. They took a hit of 20 million of cap space to get rid of him, get him off that large contract they gave him.
I worry. My big worry for him is I'm pretty confident when he plays. Like we said last year in the video, when he plays, he will produce, and that's exactly what he did. He stayed healthy.
And he should play if healthy. He will play because there's no real competition.
The Rams did start cautiously with him and then opened up his workload through the year last year and then got rid of him at the end of the year. That again, you see that he's a huge problem. It's a big red flag for me. I worry about these knees. I mean, but it's a really interesting new era for players with reconstructions and various issues with knees. It's a different era. I think what people are able to achieve is incredible. It wouldn't have happened 20 years ago.
Well, yeah,
so he's still,
doesn't it? So.
But he's still, it's only a matter of time, and he hasn't been given a massive deal there. It is a kind of prove it deal. I don't know. I just don't know. But I think the risk and reward is probably just about right. And if you want to take a risk on one player in the first 5 picks, probably a good one to take a risk on because he's in the third round. You don't mind that risk reward. It's a potential 3 down back in the third round. You ain't going to find many of them. I can see it. I
think with him, the deal. It's a risk if you draft him. You could, like you say, you could be rewarded, or you could be horribly let down. But I suppose the good thing, if you were to get a backup though, you could get him cheap. But which one would you go for? Would you go for?
I'd go for Ito Smith. Ito Smith. To me, it is a little risky because it could be any of them. But I just feel from the evidence of tape,
literally, he will cost you nothing, won't he, to back him up?
Yeah. And I think you have to, in Gurley's case, you have to back him up, and you probably have to invest a bit. So if you've got any doubt, then we'll go and grab the pair. But I think that's a bit overboard. But I'd take a risk on Ito Smith being the one that shakes his way out of the pack, and then see how that goes. But I'm not a fan of Gurley's, and he would not be the first on my list if he fell into the third. I think in a lot of leagues we know he'll still go second round value. I think, but for when if I was going to contemplate, it'd have to be the third round, but there are other targets I prefer ahead of him.
I mean, that's a 16-man league, so, and running back tend to go early.
But on my list, there are a lot of running backs I would have ahead of Gurley, and if it comes to picking Gurley, it has to be because my team, I may have gone a certain direction with the team and I have to have running backs. And if that's the case, then I would be foolish to turn up a player that's got a 3-down workload in a certain team build.
And knows where the end zone is, doesn't he? I mean, that's one thing.
And he is at a value that is okay. I have big red flags around him, and if you don't know about those, please check out the other videos about it last year. They're there. They're still there. And I won't be surprised if at any point he goes down because of the knees. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't like to see a player go out like that. But I also am reassured when I look back at his contracts that he's actually had. He ain't done too bad out of the NFL.
No.
So no matter what happens,
he's still fairly young, as well.
No matter what happens, no matter what happens, he's done okay. So we'll see how it plays out for him. But interesting opportunity. There's no doubt about that. Interesting opportunity.
We want to hear from you guys. Todd Gurley, 33. Would you draft him or not? We want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you on the next one.